Anytime Audi manufactures a vehicle that has the letter R in it, you know one thing is for sure, it's going to be high performance. Think RS4, RS6, TTRS, and of course the legendary R8. What we have here is the first ever Audi RS5. There are many ways that the RS5 is distinguished from the S5. Of course, you see this massive grille, and it is a beast of a car. But it's really about shocks, springs, wheels, tires, and of course, the engine. Audi's strategy with their engines with regards to the A5, S5, and RS5 is kind of interesting. So the A5 is now a 4-cylinder, the S5 has become a V6 supercharged, and the RS5 is the 4.2-liter V8. Now that may sound familiar because the original S5 had that same engine, but it didn't produce 450 horsepower and 317 pound-feet of torque. Now, let's talk about torque for a minute because, as you know, if you've been watching this channel, we're all about torque. It's kind of interesting that the S5 with a 3-liter supercharged engine has 325 pound-feet of torque. This is the RS5 with a 4.2-liter V8, only 317 pound-feet of torque. But the RS5 is not so much about the engine as it is about performance on cornering and handling. Standard wheels on the RS5 are 19-inch 10-spoke wheels. As you can see here, there are 5 spokes because this is an upgraded package and takes you up to 20 inches. Can you believe this coupe has 20-inch wheels sitting on 275/30s? If it's an Audi performance car, it's going to be a Quattro, and the RS5 is no exception. What is different is that by default, 60% of the power goes to the rear wheels. Another thing that's unique to the RS5 is that it applies extra power to the outside rear wheel during cornering. Here's another differentiator from the S5 is this rear spoiler, which actually comes up automatically at higher speeds. The only transmission available in the Audi RS5 is a 7-speed S-tronic transmission with sport and manual shift modes. Well, enough talking about the RS5. This thing was built for the track, and guess what? That's where we're headed. This is going to be awesome. Our first experience behind the wheel of the RS5, the long-awaited RS5. And you know what? This thing is not disappointing. What I love about the RS5 is that it reminds me of a more refined version of the RS4 sedan that was out a few years ago, in the sense that you have this great V8 motor, you have a great roar, and you have this legendary Quattro system that vehicles like the M3 and C63 don't have. And what that does is it makes average drivers good, good drivers better. The Quattro system is so intuitive, but more than that, it's all the refinements they've put in the RS5, the steering, the suspension, and all the customization that just make this thing a thrill to drive on the track and in everyday driving. So there you have it, a great vehicle, and for now, Audi has a true competitor to compete with Mercedes and BMW. If this RS proves to be anything close to the previous RS models, guess what? It's going to be a rare model, it's going to be a collector's model, and at a starting price of just under $70,000, it's actually a great bargain.